bring up this, guys. Cris Cyborg posted a really racist Instagram post, and here in America, like I tweeted this out, and a lot of people overseas were like, "That's got to be an American thing," but like to me, here what she posted was she was at KFC and she says, "This is for all my African friends." So here in America, you know, the stereotype is, you know, people of the ethnicity, the African American race, like chicken, watermelon, and grape soda. And I live here in the city, so it's still, you know, a melting pot. I feel like my parents' generation is, and my parents' generation is a lot more racist. This generation is more of a melting pot. We accept one another. I remember growing up and not even realizing I was the only white kid in my neighborhood. If you guys follow me on Instagram, you know that my little brother just got married. My brother is gay and he just got married, and I'm so proud of him, and I'll stand by him to the end. That's one thing I love about this generation. But also another thing about this generation is that people will find anything. With social media right now, people will find the tiniest little detail to latch onto and go, you know, it's the cancel culture. They're going to find something negative about you, even something from 4 years ago. Like Phil was saying about his Instagram account with the UFC, they found something from 2017 and it bans his account. People will find anything to shut you down. Cris Cyborg posts picture of her in KFC eating some chicken wings, goes, "This is for all my African friends." People here in America are going, whoa, really? That's the evil eye of the week right there. Evil eye of the week is, how did you not know? Like, have you not seen, you know, every comedy movie in the last 10 years, last 5 years? You know, these sitcoms on TV? This is a huge stereotype. I didn't know it was just for America. You know, the Italians. What do people think about Italians? Do Brazilians not realize Italians love pizza? Do people in Brazil or Europe not realize that Italians love getting haircuts every week? That, you know, you name it. There's so many different stereotypes out there. And I feel like that's one of the most well-known ones. And another surprising thing is, you know, in the past, Ray Elby would usually post for her. This time, I really feel like she took control of her social media. But what bad timing for it. You know, with the whole situation with Dana White and Cris Cyborg, and Dana White going, you know, we're done with Cris Cyborg. We're out of the cyborg business. Because her team, probably boyfriend, Ray Elby, you know, I love Ray. He's liked a lot of my social media stuff. And, you know, I love Cris, one of my favorite fighters. She's a sweetheart. And I feel like she's so innocent behind this, doesn't really know. She's trusting people that, you know, she loves. And unfortunately, with the situation with Dana White, they posted it on her YouTube channel. But the sketchy thing is, they edited it to make Dana sound a lot worse than what he actually said. And I feel like if Cris knew that, I don't think she would allow it. But you know what? It was all being used as momentum to get this fight. But it was really dirty of her and her team to go backstage and start filming that private conversation. But on the other hand, to kind of play the devil's advocate, Dana White knows damn well there's cameras everywhere. Did you not realize her boyfriend behind you, or actually in front, Cyborg had her back to us, if I remember right, and Dana was like looking sideways, you know? So how did he not realize that Ray's right there filming? And I'm not sure if it was Ray, but, you know, obviously it's the Cyborg team. They're probably all wearing Cyborg versus Nunes 2 shirts. Just bad timing for this upcoming post, or recent post. But she did have a response to it after a lot of her fans were in an uproar and felt, you know, really betrayed. Because the Cyborg Nation, man, I'd say the Cyborg Nation is more loyal to Cris than the Armbar Nation was for Ronda. And I may be wrong. I mean, take it how you want that. But, you know, right now with Cris Cyborg, I feel like a lot of people love to defend her because of the way that she's viewed. And this has been a huge talking point in the last couple of weeks here on a lot of different podcasts, on social media especially, about how people view Cris Cyborg as, you know, not human. Go to a Cris Cyborg training camp. She does, you know, yesterday she was working at Dunkin' Donuts doing charity. You know, she was out in with my boy Justin Wren from Season 10 Ultimate Fighter. And you guys know I've interviewed Justin Wren before in the past, face-to-face. Got to spend time with him backstage for, you know, an hour or two. And obviously I do a show with James McSweeney from that same season of the Ultimate Fighter. So, you know, Justin Wren and everything that he's doing, to see Cris Cyborg go out there and help build those wells to get fresh water, she is such a sweetheart. And I'm so sick and tired of people going, oh, well, look at her. She doesn't even look like a woman because of the supplements that she took, this and that. Yo, go look at her mother. She is a spitting image of her. She's a spitting image of her mother. Cyborg's a beautiful woman, and and I just feel like a lot of people look at her and she's stereotyped. It's bad, man. People look at Cris Cyborg and they think she's a dirty fighter, and say what you will about the past, but it has nothing to do with her fucking face. Go look at a picture of Cris Cyborg's mother. They look like twins. Cris Cyborg's gonna look just like her. And then, you know, this whole thing with Chris's adopted daughter getting bullied at school, it's just heartbreaking, man. So with this recent post about the KFC thing, you would think people would be, you know, especially her management, would be a little bit more critical about everything that she's posting, especially this day and age. I feel like that definitely took a hit on her in the last 24 hours. And you got to wonder, like, at first I thought Dana White was trying to play the card of, oh, so you're going to give us a hard time? You're saying this about the UFC. You're going behind my back, recording this film. Well, you know what? We're done with you. So I thought Dana was using that as, like, you know, when you're in high school and your girlfriend breaks up with you, you're like, no, let's give me another chance. No, I'm done. You don't get it. I'm done. I'm done with you. And they don't talk to you. They ignore you. And they act, you know, Rico Suave. And I thought that was a tactic for Cris to be like, oh, no, wait. Let me weigh out my options here. There's Bellator, there's ONE, there's BKFC, which I really don't think she should go to. UFC really is still is, and always has been, the #1 organization. People go, oh, well, there's nowhere to fight. Is there people for her to fight that you know at ONE? Do you even watch ONE? How many events does Bellator have every year? You know, UFC is the go-to. When people think of MMA, they go, what is MMA? Oh, you mean UFC? People still think, like my family, they'll be like, how's the WWF stuff going? WWF, they changed their name in like 1998. It's the WWE now. That's not even what I do. I don't do that. But yeah, I did my first interview at 7 years old, which I bring up all the time with Stone Cold Steve Austin, and they were always behind me, pushing me for this future. So, you know, in their head, this is wrestling, and it's not real. But at the end of the day, guys, what I have to say about the whole Cris Cyborg thing is I feel like leaving the UFC would really be a bad thing. And people were disagreeing. I mentioned this on my Twitter at evil_echo. Oh, and guys, we got a new Pure Evil MMA, official Pure Evil MMA Twitter, since we couldn't get back into the last one. And it's the same tag as our Instagram, at Pure Evil MMA _. But I brought this up on there, and they're like, oh yeah, she'd get paid a lot over at ONE, or even going over to Risen. Me and Mercy from Team Cyborg were talking about her going to with Scott Coker, because Scott Coker treated her so well in the past, guys. Go back to the Strikeforce era. He treated her amazing. And now in the position that he's in with Bellator, I wouldn't be surprised if that's her #1 option right now, if she can't get to the UFC. But even still, how well is she going to do in Bellator? How many times a year is she going to fight? I mean, how many times does she usually fight a year? Twice? Was she going to fight once a year over at Bellator? I don't know. I don't know. Right now, everything's just a mess with Cris Cyborg. Let me know what you guys think about this on Instagram and Twitter, both at Pure Evil MMA _ or my personal page at evil_echo. That's EVIL_ECCO.